pay homage to the Blessed One. Dear friends, today I am going to talk the Four Noble Truths. Did you hear the Four Noble Truths before? Could you tell me what are they, the Four Noble Truths? Can somebody answer?
There's suffering.
Yes.
I continue?
Yes.
There is the path out of suffering.
Go ahead.
Oh, I think I'm missing one. Suffering, path out of suffering.
Suffering is created by desire.
Nibbana. And then Nibbana. I'm missing one.
You said three, right?
Yeah, it's a three. I'm missing one more.
One more. Anyway, so when the Buddha attained enlightenment, when he became awakened one, first time he didn't decide to teach to the people because he understood that his Dhammma is very deep, and then the normal people in the world would not understand his teaching. And then the king of the deities came down to the human world and he requested the Buddha, please teach whatever you gain after practicing 6 years. Then he accepted his invitation, and then he decided he will teach to the his friends who practiced meditation with him in the past, because they were ascetic, also they practiced very deep meditation. Then Buddha delivered a sutta, that one is called Dhammma Chakkapavattana Sutta, is the wheel of the Dhamma. And in that sutta, Buddha explained the Four Noble Truths. First he taught Four Noble Truths. So what are the Four Noble Truths? First one is the truth of suffering, dukkha in Pali. Sometimes I use Pali because I love it, but don't mind. You also have to know that, the truth of suffering, dukkha. And the second one, the truth of the origin of suffering, samudaya. And then third one, the truth of the cessation of suffering, nirodha. And the last one, the truth of the path to the cessation of suffering, magga. So here the Four Noble Truths contain the essence of the Buddha's teaching. It was these four principles that the Buddha came to understand during his meditation under the Bodhi tree. So he practiced meditation about 6 years. And after 6 years, then he became awakened one. So in that, the suffering, most of the people in the world think that the life is full of suffering, but this is not correct. So in the human world, we laugh, we smile, right? And then we have fun, and sometimes we have sadness. So the life is full of suffering. This is not right at all. But Buddha here said specifically what are the suffering. So that we'll know later on. So the Buddha is often compared to a physician. In the first two Noble Truths, he diagnosed the problem, suffering, and identified its cause. The third Noble Truth is the realization that there is a cure. This is just a simple explanations. The Four Noble Truth in which the Buddha set out the Eightfold Noble Path, the last one, is the prescription, the way to achieve and realize from suffering. So here the two things, first one is suffering. What is suffering? We have to understand at the beginning. Let me read some text first, and then I'll explain. Suffering comes in many forms. The three obvious kinds of suffering correspond to the first three sights the Buddha saw on his first journey outside his palace. That means when he left his royal palace, before that he went for journey one time and he saw the old people. Old people are suffering. They cannot walk. They use this trick, They feel very weak. And then he asked his assistant why that guy is suffering. What happened to him? Then his assistant explained to him. And he was thinking that, wow, I have to also suffer like him when I will get old. This is the first sight. And the second one he saw, when he went the second time for journey, he saw the sick people. One guy is very sick and lying down on the bed and cannot eat properly. Then he asked his assistant again. His assistant explained to him. Then he thought about himself. And then the last one, the dead. The 4 people carried the dead body to the cemetery. Then he asked again his assistant explained to him. Then he thought that old age, sickness and death, every people have to get it. Every people have to suffer for that. And then eventually he saw one ascetic, a Buddhist monk. He's very happy, smile all the time, practicing meditation under the tree. Then he asked his assistant again, who is that guy? Then his assistant explained, he's a Buddhist monk. Why he's happy all the time? Because he's the homeless person. He doesn't have home. So he always practiced meditation. Then he chose that path, and then he went from the palace and then practiced meditation for 6 years, and eventually he gained enlightenment. Okay? So here now, what the Buddha said, what are the suffering in the Digha Nikaya? This is the one of Buddhist scripture. Buddha said that birth is suffering, aging is suffering, death is suffering, sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness, despair are suffering. Association with the unbeloved is suffering. Is it true? Maybe true, right? It's happening all the time. And separation from the loved is suffering. Yeah, everybody understand that, right? Not getting what is wanted is suffering. I want something, but if I cannot get it, I don't feel happy. I must get it, right? And then, in short, the 5 aggregates are suffering. So what are the 5 aggregates? Can anyone answer? No? Rupa. Rupa means form. Vedana, feeling. Sanya, perception. Sankara, formation. Vijnana, consciousness. Do you understand my pronunciation? If you don't understand, let me know. Okay? So I use sometimes Pali because I studied Pali about 17 years. Still learning. So when I use the Pali, then English translation comes very easily. So these are called the 5 aggregates. All are in our body, in here. Rupa, form, and Vedana, feeling. There are three kinds of feeling. So, Sukha Vedana, that means pleasant feeling. And Dukkha Vedana, that means unpleasant feeling. Then Upekha Vedana, that means neither pleasant nor unpleasant. This is called Upekha. So this is called feeling. So the five aggregates are suffering because this all the time is arising, passing away, arising, passing away, arising, passing away, not permanent. It's impermanent. So that's why Buddha said these five aggregates are suffering. Do you have any question about the truth of the suffering? Now do you understand? Right?
Did you say neutral supeka like equanimity, like brahmanyara?
Na dukkha na sukha is called na dukkha na sukha means it's neutral feeling, no painful feeling, no happy feeling. It's called na dukkha na sukha, upekka, right? There are many English and there are many Pali too. Yeah, that's why sometimes we confuse. It's okay. So this is the first noble truth, the truth of suffering. You understand that now? The first noble truth, you got it? Or still I have to explain? Right? Let me read again. Birth is suffering. Why birth is suffering? Maybe somebody can ask me. Right? Birth is suffering. When we born, then aging comes, sickness comes, a lot of problems come. Right? But if there is no birth, there is no age, no sickness, no death. So how do you attain that? How do you get that? Only by practicing meditation. Keep the precept, purify your mind, and practice the meditation, and eventually you attain the highest peace. That one is called Nibbana. I'm going to explain the Nibbana. What is the meaning of Nibbana? Okay? And sorrow, all those things come when you're born. One by one will come. If there is no birth, there is no age, no aging, no death, no sorrow, no lamentation, no pain, no sadness, no despair, everything gone. Right? That means you attain the highest peace. Nibbana. So the second noble truth, second noble is cause or origin. What are they? How? Origin. How it caused. Here our day-to-day troubles may seem to have easily identifiable causes. Thirst. Thirst means craving, desire. Pain from an injury, sadness from the loss of a loved one. If you lose the beloved one, if someone died, what do you feel? People cry. You know, usually, especially in my country, most of the people, when they lose the beloved one, mom, dad, they cry a lot. But they are not like American people I saw. I went many funeral service, they never cry like that. It's just a little betrayal. But my country, they cry loudly, you know? And they feel so tired. Even I was when I was there, you know? So that's why the loss of a beloved one. In the second of his noble truths, though the Buddha claimed to have found the cause of all suffering, and it is much more deeply rooted than our immediate worries. The Buddha taught that the root of all suffering is desire, tanha. You see, in Pali called tanha, is craving, desire. So in our mind, because if desire comes, then because of kama tanha, if desire comes, then this is the cause of suffering. Because I am increasing, I get something and get something more and something more. You know, in that way. So here desire means 6 senses. Through the 6 senses, the desire comes, desire rise. So what are the 6 senses? Can anybody answer? Quick. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So through the 6 senses. So when you open eye, you see the form, then desire rise. When you hear the sound, the ear, the desire rise. Similarly, nose, when you smell something, then desire rises. Through the 6 senses, the desire rises, and because of this is also cause of suffering. This is the one thing. And when I said the craving, what does it mean, craving? Craving means I like it, I don't like it, mine. When sensual desire arises, I like it. This is craving. Right? And when hatred arises, I don't like it. No. When I hate someone, I didn't want to see his face. Right? I didn't want to see because of hatred. This is also craving. And delusion. What did I say delusion in the last class? One who doesn't understand the Four Noble Truths. Right? What is suffering? And then the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, the birth that leads to the cessation of suffering. So if someone understands these Four Noble Truths, then we cannot say that he is the deluded person, because he has wisdom. Okay? So these are the cause of suffering, and because of these 3 things, the suffering arises in our mind. Okay? The 3 roots of evil here, let me read. These are the 3 ultimate causes of suffering. The greed and desire, represented in earth by a roaster, and ignorance or delusion, represented by a pit. Hatred and destructive urges, represented by a snake. But this is just an explanation. Let me read a discourse from the Samyutta Nikaya. The Buddha said, monks, in Pali called bhikkhu. Bhikkhu means you have to understand monk, like me. In Pali called bhikkhu, monk, all is burning. Buddha is saying to his disciple, all are burning. What is all that are burning? The eye is burning. Eye. Forms are burning. Eye consciousness is burning. Eye contact is burning. Also, whatever is felt as pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, is called upekkha. Okay? That rises with eye contact for its indispensable basic condition. That too is burning. Burning is what? Burning with the fire of lust. As I said earlier, greed, hatred, and delusion. Right? So burning with the fire of lust, with the fire of hate, with the fire of delusion. I say it is burning with birth, aging, and death, with sorrows, with lamentation, with pain, with griefs, and with despair. You see, all those things are negativity. All those things, when arise in our mind, then suffering arise. You know, it's burning in our mind. We would always talk about mind. You know, nothing is suffering outside, inside here. And he also he said, the Buddha went on to say the same of the other four senses. The mind showing that attachment to positive, negative, and neutral sensation and thoughts is the cause of suffering. So we finished 2, and we have 2 more, right? And the third noble truth, this is a little bit difficult. Nirodha. So how will you attain that? Nirodha means cessation. So when craving arises, I recognize it. Because this is unwholesome. The last class I explained what is wholesome and what is unwholesome. And release it. Don't give attention there, because as I said, this is unwholesome. Don't give attention there continuously. And then relax in your head, in your mind, and relax it. Then bring up the wholesome thought by a smile. You know, most of the people, when I was practicing in Burma, they practice meditation very seriously. Very serious. It's looked that they want to attain Nibbana within 1 week. You know? This meditation is not serious. I never teach to the meditators seriously. This meditation is very simple, very easy, just a smile all the time. Keep your mind light. Keep your mind clear and agile. When you are practicing walking meditation, sitting meditation, whatever activities you are doing, you have to have fun. You know, that way you can progress your meditation very well. If you practice very seriously, then around your brain, you see, it's tightened. Then tension and tightness arise in your head. You know, then you are increasing craving. You are not overcoming craving. So if you just relax, you feel light. You feel clear. You see, you can practice yourself. Then you will feel that. You know, let me explain you one story. When I was practicing meditation in Burma, my teacher told me that practice 1 hour sitting and another 1 hour walking. I was practicing very seriously, sitting meditation. Here getting pain, strong pain, but still not moving. Because he said, don't move. Okay, still strong pain here, but still not moving 1 hour. And after 1 hour, my knees became like rock. Very strong, you know, but it doesn't work. And my whole body becomes so pain, you know. And after 14 years, I changed that technique. After 14 years, and I start practicing loving kindness meditation. Loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, Brahma Vihara. This technique, because one of my teacher, he's American, he lives in Missouri. He practiced 42 years meditation, and he always focused the sutta from the middle discourses of the Buddha, Majjhima Nikaya. He read the sutta and he felt this is the real teaching of the Buddha. So when I went to him in Missouri and I practiced meditation for 4 months under him, then I felt simple. This technique is really very simple, but not always easy. Okay, very simple. So you have to smile all the time and practice meditation. Okay. So and then third noble truth is here. Buddha explained. The Buddha taught that the way to extinguish desire, which causes suffering, is to liberate oneself from attachment. You see, from attachment, if you can liberate, you can feel that, how your personality is changing. You can experience that. When your mind is developed, only you know. Nobody can know. Only you experience and you know that. You know, in my country, when someone practice, especially Buddhist monk, practice meditation at the forest, people think that, wow, he attained Arahant. Do you know the meaning of Arahant? Arahant means the highest peace. One who eradicate greed, no greed, no hatred, no delusion in their mind. Their minds all the time calm, peaceful, you know. Even though you speak something bad to them, and they never arise. They are called Arahant. So people thought that, oh, he attained Arahantship. We should bow to them, we should respect them. This is, misunderstanding. But according to my understanding, I cannot say he is Arahant because I don't know his mind. I don't know his development. Right? So, Buddha said, come and see. Try to understand. When you understand and practice it, after practicing, if you experience it, then accept it. Otherwise, you can go. You can lead. Freedom. Ehipassiko. So that's why a lot of Westerners, a lot of people in the world accepting this meditation, this technique, because he gives the freedom. But if you go to other religion, I want to be the other religion from Buddhist to Islam, from Buddhist to other religion, they will celebrate big ceremony, but in Buddhism never said that. Come and see. Try to understand. So when you understand it and then practice it, after practicing, if you get something, if you experience in your mind, then you accept it. So that's why one of my teacher in Missouri told me that only because of this advice, I accepted Buddhism. Otherwise, my father, Christian, and my mom, Jewish. But I am Buddhist mom. He said. So here the Buddha was living example that this is a possible in a human lifetime. That means if you practice in this very life, you can attain, you can overcome all the suffering in this very life. Just you have to purify your mind, keep the precept. One of the precepts, I think I didn't explain to you. I can see many people here knew. Not killing, no stealing, other properties. If someone don't give you, taking what is not given. The simple English. And then third one, no adultery. And number 4, no lying with anyone. And the last one, no drinking alcohol or wine. These 5 precepts. When you keep that, then you feel your mind is pure. And after that, when you practice meditation, your meditation will go positively because you don't feel guilty. You feel your mind is very clean, pure and agile. That way you can progress your meditation very, very quickly. Okay? And here the Buddha said in the Sanyutta Nikaya again, monk, when a noble follower. So what does it mean, noble follower? Can anybody answer? Noble follower? Noble. Noble means when someone attains the path of stream-entry, the fruition of stream-entry, the path of one's return, the fruition of one's return, the path of non-return, the fruition of non-returner, the path of Arahant, the fruition of Arahant. So how many? 8. So among the 8, if you attain 1, then we can say him or say them, he is the noble person. Among the 8, otherwise he is the ordinary person. No the noble. Is it clear? Do you understand that? I have to explain again? Okay. Okay, when a noble follower who has heard the truth sees thus, he finds disenchantment in I, no attachment, and finds disenchantment in forms, finds disenchantment in I consciousness, finds disenchantment in eye contact, and whatever is felt as pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, that arises with eye contact, for its indispensable condition, in that too he finds disenchantment. Disenchantment is no attachment. Right? Is free from all those negativity. You know? The Buddhists aim to know 6 conditions clearly as there without becoming enchanted by them. So now is the Nibbana. Nibbana is called Pali word. And how to say in Sanskrit language? It's called Nirvana. So Nir plus Vana. Nir means no. Vana means fire. No fire in our mind. Greed is one sort of fire. Hatred is one sort of fire. Delusion is one sort of fire. So Nir plus Vana means no fire in our mind. It's called Nibbana. Does it make sense? Right? So here Nibbana or Nirvana means no fire. Attaining Nibbana, reaching highest peace, means extinguishing the 3 fires of greed, hatred and delusion. Someone who reaches Nibbana does not immediately disappear to a heavenly realm. Nibbana is better understood as a state of mind, and humans can reach, everybody can reach, if we follow the instruction, if we practice according to instruction in this life. That's why Buddha said, my Dhamma is immediately effective. If you practice now, it will give you result. Immediately effective. It is a state of profound spiritual joy. You see, here joy means, as I said, when you keep the precept and practice meditation, when your mind is progressing, then one sort of joy will rise in your mind that never experienced before, you know. And without negative emotions or fears, no fear arises in your mind at that time. Then, someone who has attained the highest peace is filled with compassion for all living beings. You see, one who attained the Nibbana, as I said, his mind will be all the time calm, peaceful. He is very different than others. The way he will walk, different than others. The way he will speak, different than others. You see? So one way only you can examine him. You have to stay with him about 5 months. Then you will observe all the time how he eats, how he walks. All the time you have to examine him. So if you think that that guy is never show his anger and never arise the greed in his mind, then after 5 months, then you understand maybe he become the noble person, or he attain the Arahant. Just seen and you cannot say he is already Arahant, who should bow him, who should respect him. Not like that. Buddhism is not like that. Okay? So here said, again in the Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha said, because I quote this one from the scripture, Buddhist scripture, when he finds disenchantment, passion fades out. Without the fading of passion, with the fading of passion, he is liberated. When liberated, there is knowledge that it is liberated, because he understood. He knows, now I am liberated. So during the Buddha's time, many monks, they went to the forest after listening Dhamma talk from Buddha, and went to the forest and practiced themselves, and they attained Arahant. And they came back to the Buddha and they said, I already liberated. Then Buddha said, I already know that. Because deity came to me and then said about you. You see? But in this very life also possible. Don't think that this life not possible. It's possible, of course. When liberated, there is knowledge that it is liberated. He understands birth is exhausted. The holy life has been lived out. When what can be done is done. Of this, there is no more beyond. That means he became a Arahant. He eradicated all the negativity from his mind. Only through meditation. Okay? So, I want to make short because I think I already talked more than 30 minutes, right?
What's the time? Do you know?
We still have time?
7:44.
7:44? Or still
Yeah.
have time? Right? So after that, an enlightened person is liberated from the cycle of rebirth, but the Buddha gives no definite answer as to what happens next. Nobody can say. After that, where will you go? Can anybody answer? Nobody can answer, right? But during the Buddha's time, who attained arahantship, they got a psychic power, supernatural power, and when they use their supernatural power, and they could read your mind. After that, where will you go? Buddha could say that, you know, but we don't have such a knowledge yet, so we cannot say that, right? So the Buddha discouraged his followers from asking too many questions about Nibbana. So if you ask after Nibbana and what is next, then you'll never get answer. That because Nibbana is the highest, Nibbana is the last step. Okay? So he wanted them to be collected on the task at hand, which was freely themselves from the cycle of suffering. Asking question is like quibbling with the doctor who is trying to save your life. And the last one is Magga. How many suffering we finish now? 3. And the last one. Last one is just a path. You have to walk that path. So if you can walk that path, then you'll attain Nibbana. This is the easiest. Easy, right? So here the final noble truth is the Buddha's prescription for the end of suffering. This is a set of principles called the Eightfold Path. So what are the 8? We have to know that. So the Eightfold Path, also called the middle way. You see, at the beginning, the Buddha practiced concentration meditation. He went to many two teachers, Arara Kalama and Uddaka Ramaputta. These are 2 teachers. He went to them and practiced concentration meditation. And the Buddha went to the forest and he practiced very seriously. Still doesn't work. He couldn't attain enlightenment. And then later on, he thought that I have to practice the middle way. There is a simple way, the middle path. Then he got it. So that's why the Eightfold Path is also called the middle way. It avoids both indulgence and severe asceticism, neither of which the Buddha had found helpful in his search for enlightenment. So what are the Eightfold Noble Path? The first one, Samma Ditti in Pali. Samma Ditti means right understanding. So what is the right understanding? We can say, I understand rightly, that's why this is the right understanding. No, here different. Here right understanding means one who has the knowledge about the Four Noble Truths. You understand what is suffering, you understand what is the cause of suffering, you understand what is the cessation of suffering, and you understand the path that leading to the cessation of suffering. You have knowledge. That is called right understanding. Right? And then second, Samma Sankappa. This means right intention. A commitment to cultivate the right attitudes. Whatever you will do, you have to have the right intention. And Samma Vasa, that means right speech. There are 4 kinds of speech. Should not lie, no lying, no slandering, no gossip, no bad talk or abusive talk, abusive speech. So if you follow this rule, that means you are observing, you are following the right speech, no wrong speech. If you brag, then you are following wrong speech. Okay? And then right action. So there are three kinds of right action. No killing, no taking others' property, and no adultery. If you no adultery, no adultery. So that way you are the right action, okay? And then number 5, right livelihood. There are 5 kinds of business you cannot do. What business? Number 1, you cannot do the arms business. Number 2, you know, some people, especially even when I was very young in my country, I saw that some people sell the human, you know, they catch the human being and sell to others. You cannot do that. Yeah, especially poor country is happening. It is still now, you know. And number 3, you cannot sell the meat. And number 4, you cannot do the bar business. And the last one, you cannot do the poison business. So if you don't do that, then you are right livelihood. Is it clear? This is I'm talking from the scripture, not from me. Whatever Buddha said, you know. So the right effort. This is very important, because when I teach meditation to the people, I usually say right effort, harmonious practice. So what are the harmonious practice? You are practicing loving kindness meditation, right? When the unwholesome thought arises in your mind, you have to recognize it, release it, don't keep attention continuously there, and relax in your head, in your mind, whole body, relaxing, and bring up the wholesome thought by smiling, and keep the wholesome thought continuously. This is called right effort. Okay? So when you practice that way, there are 5 kinds of hindrances. So what are the hindrances? Number 1, sensual desire. Number 2, hatred or aversion. And number 3, sleepiness and dullness. And number 4, restlessness and anxiety. And the last one, doubt. So among the 5, when anyone arises in your mind, then you have to use the right effort. Recognize it, release it, relax in your head, in your whole body, and then bring the wholesome thought by smiling, and then keep the wholesome thought. Anyone, sensual desire arises, use the right effort. And then hatred arises, use the right effort. And sleepiness and dullness arise, use the right effort. And this restlessness and anxiety arise, use the right effort. Doubt arise, use the right effort. This is the key. So that way, the 5 hindrances will be weaker, and then your meditation will be very good. 5 minutes without distraction, very calm. 10 minutes, no distraction. Then that way you can progress in meditation very well. So that's why here, right effort, samma vayama. He has said, cultivating positive state of mind, freely oneself from evil and unwholesome states, and preventing them arising in future. Is it clear? Because I give some example more. Yes. Yeah, almost done. Almost finished. Yeah, it's finished. I have to only two more. Yes, last one. This is the yeah, two more. One is Sammasati, right mindfulness, is developing awareness of the body, sensation, feelings instead of mind. And last one is Samma Samadhi, is right concentration or right collectedness. It's called developing the mental focus necessary for this awareness. So these are the Four Noble Truths today. As I told you, this Four Noble Truths is very deep. But anyway, I try my best to explain it. Right? Do you understand the Four Noble Truths today? Right? But you get something. Right?